So my name is Beryl Amayo. My name is Beryl Maureen Amayo. I'm a human resource practitioner, and is it what else?
Something you don't know about something.
Something you may not. Well, now what is that? I'm a last born in my family, and maybe my hobbies, I don't know.
What's your hobby? What do you love doing?
I used to love playing basketball. Nowadays I'm more passive on it. So
what do you love doing? Sorry. Oh, sorry.
Are you the one who's holding the
talking. Sorry. Sorry. Okay.
I love reading mostly nowadays. I do a lot of reading. I love listening to music as well. And I love singing, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did you stop doing basketball? Your height, clearly.
Well, yes, of course. What happened with basketball, I started schooling in the evening. Then I got a job. So it wasn't very easy for me to balance time and be able to go to the court. So once I finished schooling, well, I think I just got lazy. Nothing prevents me from going back. Thinking about it, not yet started, but well, let's see how that goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your name, what's the difference? Even what you don't know about you.
My name is Haig Aseda. I'm an accountant by profession. I have a finance background and mostly in oil and gas. So I enjoy that so much. My hobbies, I think I love sports. So basically with it, be it watching or taking active part in sports, that's part of what I like. I play golf, I play football, I go to the gym, I run as well. So as you can see, I'm very active and like some passive people. And the gym, the muscles should be showing very soon. Once, if I remove the shirt, you could have seen that, yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much about me.
Okay, so your love for sports, is it what made you get to love someone who was in sports? Oh.
I don't think so. That's not the case because I think when I met Beryl, she'd stopped playing basketball at that point. So she wasn't really a sporty person. But that notwithstanding, I think I could see the...
You need to edit that out. What do you mean I wasn't a sporty person?
You weren't playing any sports, yeah. Yeah. So anyway, we met in church. So it's something very different from what I like. Well, I love church as well, but I didn't meet her in the sporty world, so to speak.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how did you spot her? Was she in the choir? Was she, how did it take place for you to know that, okay, I'm going to do something over there?
I was the youth leader at that point, and I think she just joined that church, and I saw her coming with a friend of hers. Actually, at one point, I thought they were dating. So when I was asked to introduce her, to welcome her into the group, I had the chance of welcoming her. We used to have that kind of thing every lunch hour while having lunch, where we'd have the guests stand up and one is chosen to welcome one of the guests. So I was chosen to welcome Beryl, and I gave her a welcome hug. And we started chatting at that point, and somehow there was some connection. So we were able to talk and keep talking even from the very first day. And well, there were no any intentions at that point. I was just offering her some brotherly love.
Are you sure?
And then, yeah, so that is how I was able to spot her.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were you dating this guy? Anyway, tell us this.
No, I wasn't dating this guy. I was basically new to this church. I changed churches. I moved, and then I met this guy, and he invited me to the church, which was nearer to where we were staying. So we went to church together, and he was part of the youth group. So he invited me to join. They had potluck. So they have, on a regular Saturday, they would have food together. So, of course, I'm not really comfortable with crowds. I'm not easy. I don't get along easily with new crowds, basically. So, of course, I sat next to the guy I came with. And on the left-hand side, he was seated next to me. So, because I'd walked in with this guy, the person who was next to me, which was him, was one who had been asked to welcome me, and he was very nice. I mean, he made me feel comfortable. He was very easy to talk to, given that I don't get along with strangers that much easily. So yeah, it was good for me. He made me feel easy and feel welcome, and yeah, I thought he was a nice guy. But
Let me just add that there was some physical attraction as well, because there's no way I would have just been so happy talking to her just like that. So there was the physical appeal that was there that made me also offer some more brotherly love. Yeah.
What did you like most of seeing her? What did you love about her on that first glance?
It's really hard to pinpoint one particular thing, but I think it was the full package because she was a beautiful, tall lady with a nice, beautiful smile as well. So all of that put together gave a very good, complete picture, which I couldn't resist.
Hence the brotherly love.
Yeah. I'm not resisting.
And talking of changing churches, from which church to which?
Nairobi South Church, SDA Church, to Nairobi East SDA Church. Yeah.
Okay, so you're both SDAs?
Yes, we are.
Okay, fantastic. So from getting to meet in church, you know, how did you ask her out? Or how did you try to play your game? How did you try to find out if they're dating?
Did I really ask you out?
Well, what happened is, because I told you earlier I love singing, so I joined the youth choir, which he was part of anyway. So we would have practices on Sundays. So we kept on meeting, just talking, chatting. Nothing was happening at that point in time. Then he started inviting me for Luo plays. We're both Luos. Then there were plays being done at, where is that?
The National Theatre?
National Theatre. So him and another friend of his, a lady, they would invite me. So I didn't see any big deal in it. We're spending time together. We're from similar groups, similar churches. And it also gave me an opportunity to get to know more people as well. So I said, why not? So that kept on happening over a period of time. And then somehow we just dropped the friend. And it ended up being the two of us watching the plays, meeting for coffee, meeting for dinner, pretty much. And I don't know, somehow things just moved along.
What I can remember is that at one point after her joining the group, we used to have lots of coffee dates. So after work, we'd meet up somewhere in town, because back then I used to work somewhere in Karen, and she used to work in the industrial area. So we'd always meet regularly in town just for catch up and have discussions and chat the evening away. And yeah, we did that quite a bit of time. And then we just got fond of each other at that point. So if you ask me, I don't even know the point at which we crossed the friend zone to the dating zone, but basically just happened seamlessly because of us spending lots of time catching up over coffee, and of course I'll drop her home before I go to my place as well. Yeah.
Okay, so when did you start knowing that, this guy, you know, something's happening here?
Well, I don't know how to answer that, because we'd spent quite a lot of time together. I think the first person who ever asked me was one of my very close friends. Asked me, what's the deal here? What's going on? I mean, you're forever with this guy. None of you wants to come out clean and say exactly what's going on. I was like, well, we're just friends. We'll see where it goes. It took quite a while, about a few months for us to actually say, well, it is what it is. Yeah, we're now dating, actually. It took a few months practically for us to get to realize that now, yes, we are a couple. Yeah.
Okay, so getting to start dating, what are ups and downs, highs and lows that you've had? The dating phase.
The dating phase, I think, was
This should be
mostly,
interesting.
it was mostly rosy. It was mostly full of highs. I think we had some awesome time together. Even just chilling and spending time with each other was something I would look forward to almost every day. So you can imagine, I think at that point I was staying somewhere in Loresho, Spring Valley or Loresho, I think Spring Valley first. And I used to live in Karen, but I used to work in Karen, sorry. I was staying in Loresho, so I could come from Karen. We meet in town, we spend time, I go to a place, we spend more time together, then I have to go all the way back to Spring Valley. But it was so effortless. So basically, we enjoyed each other's company at that point. Also, we had lots of good times, a few out-of-town trips here and there. Also out of the country as well, which were quite awesome. So I can say that the highs were quite many. The lows, I'm trying to think of the lows of dating, but I'm really struggling to think of any. Maybe you can tell me. I think ladies have a good memory compared to men. So maybe you can remind me of the lows.
I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I think I agree with him. We had quite a good time while we were dating. Reason being, we took our time to be friends before we jumped into the dating scene. And as you said, because we're spending quite a lot of time together, so we got to know each other pretty well, which made it quite easy for us once we got into dating, because you already know what makes him tick. He knows what annoys me. So it makes it a bit simpler or a bit easier if you go about it that way. Because by the time now we were in the dating scene, there was, other than the few hiccups here and there that happens, but which you're able to resolve within the day, if you're able to sit down and discuss. I can't really pinpoint and say, especially when we're dating, that we had this major issue that caused a rift between the two of us. Yeah.
Which are the small ones?
Oh, he forgot to respond to my text. I asked him to do something, just the usual things, that the men do. Luckily for me, he's never forgotten my birthday. So that's a good thing. Just small, simple things that are in any other relationship. Yeah.
Okay.
I know also being a youth leader and being someone who was social, I used to have lots of friends from both sexes. I don't know whether that was a problem at one point. Was it there?
No.
Okay.
Not for me.
Okay.
No.
That's fine then. Yeah.
Okay, so getting to pop the question, how did you do it?
It was around Beryl's birthday, and I told her that, we need to take some time off for your birthday because she had to plan her time as well to be able to be available for that weekend. So we agreed that we'll go somewhere for her birthday, so that weekend was reserved. And then I don't know whether I told her where we were going, but of course at one point she had to know about it when we were at the airport. And then so we took a trip to the south coast in Diani, which was our first time to be at the south coast, and it was a beautiful trip. We went there. We were staying in a nice hotel, the Swahili Beach, and so just as you would have expected, it was just a normal birthday weekend. And so I'd arranged for a private dinner by the beach for that the day that we landed. And I'd of course arranged with the hotel as well and told them that I was going to pop the question. So we discussed with the lady who was in charge and how it was supposed to be done. So we had our dinner, by the beach. And then at one point, I think when the dessert was brought, that's when I think the ring was also brought with the dessert. And there I was down on my knee asking her to marry me. I never thought I would do something like that in my life. I wasn't this kind of person who believed in all this romance and all that kind of stuff. But when that time came, it felt so natural and it felt like the right thing to do. Yeah, and when I asked her, of course, being the emotional person she is, she cried a bit, but eventually she said yes. Yeah.
You said yes after how many minutes? Anyway, how was it? Were you even expecting it?
No, it was a birthday surprise. I was enjoying myself. Swahili Beach is very beautiful. Then I'm told we're having a private dinner, so I was like, why the fuss? Yeah, let's just have the dinner. The buffet dinner was very nice. So like, so why? I mean, let's just. So like, no, it's a special day. So, well, I was like, okay, let's go along with it. But then everyone was being extra nice. So he left the room and took quite a while. So I prepared. I think there's somebody who came to check up on me. Someone called. It still didn't ring a bell in my mind. So I thought, well, for me, it was more of the birthday. And I didn't suspect anything. So we went, the food was really nice. The waiters were extra nice. So I was wondering, okay, I thought maybe that's the park that comes with the private dinner. So we sat there, and as he said, yeah, when they brought the dessert, then there was a box. And I thought it was a giveaway for the private dinner. So I actually didn't even open it. It was not a small box, it was a slightly like that size. So I thought it was a giveaway from the hotel. So I said I'll just carry it and maybe open it later. And then I think he's the one who insisted that I open. So inside that box there was another small box now, and yeah, and it was nice. So like, oh. Actually, as he says, he's not the kind of guy who's like that. So it made me quite emotional. Seeing him on one knee, and no, it was nice. It was nice.
Okay. Yeah. It was like after how many years of dating?
Yo.
But I really struggled to keep the ring and hide it so that she couldn't find it, because normally when we are traveling, she'd want to pack my stuff and know what I'm carrying, to know if I'm carrying everything. So basically I had to really struggle to make sure that that ring wasn't seen, which wasn't quite easy. I wouldn't feel free to tell you where I hid the ring at one point, but anyway, I hid the ring. Yeah. No.
We met way back in 2012.
Yep.
2011, late.
Yeah, late
2011. So it's been quite a long time, and I think what also made me emotional, as we're discussing the issue of dating, between the two of us, there was no much hiccup, but then there were a few issues that came up from the family side that really made it a bit difficult for us to get where we did.